of the patient. They sleep on platforms, they hardly eat anything. And we give them food every afternoon on Fridays, and it makes a lot of difference. There's similar such fundraisers. Please feel free to celebrate your loved ones with any of these causes.
Vishwa's commitment towards zero waste and a long way to go in achieving the goal begins with our material donation drive. Conducted twice a year during Diwali and Ugadi in Hyderabad, this drive collects clothes, books, toys, and other used or semi-used items for the underprivileged. Contributions from over 615 plus families have benefited around 2,800 individuals, providing essential items and support, bringing hope and dignity to them. Through these efforts, we transform the waste of some into the treasure of others, promoting sustainability and community welfare.
Namaskaram, good morning, and welcome to Vishwa Talks. My name is Radhika, and thank you all for attending today's event on Zoom and to those who are watching it on YouTube Live. For those who have attended a Vishwa Talk before, a warm welcome back. And for new joiners, here's a little bit about Vishwa Talks. Vishwa Talks is a program to create awareness and to inspire people to participate in social change. Here, we discuss and explore diverse opinions, different perspectives, different issues, problems, and their solutions. So each webinar is an interactive session with a deeper understanding of the topic at hand. We have various causes from art and culture, healthcare, environment, education, and more. If you miss any part of the session and if you would like to go through the previous talks, please visit our website or Vishwa Talks YouTube channel for a full library of past Vishwa Talks. In today's Vishwa Talk, we are honored to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Neena Rao, who is a visionary and whose work is in mental health awareness and inclusive education, which is making a global impact. Dr. Neena's journey is a blend of academic research and personal experience, culminating in the creation of Margika, an initiative dedicated to supporting special needs children and their families. Her scholarly achievements include the book Forest Ecology of India, Colonial Maharashtra, and another notable book, Mindscapes, a canvas of emotions in a special world, which was featured at Hyderabad Literature Festival 2024. Both works reflect her deep commitment to understanding and addressing complex societal issues. Inspired by her son's diagnosis, Dr. Neena founded Margika to bridge the gaps in mental health support and education for a more inclusive society. Dr. Neena has been recognized as top 100 healthcare leader by IFA and featured in 50 Inspiring Women in Telangana edition. She is a leader in the movement to ensure that every child, regardless of their needs, is empowered to reach their full potential. So before we get started into the main session, I would like to request the audience that our speaker will be taking the questions from you after the main talk. So please leave your questions in the chat box and use raise hand tool. We will allow you to ask your questions in person. So without further ado, let us welcome Dr. Neena Rao to share her insights and passion with us today. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Right. So is the view all right?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Vishwa Foundation, for this opportunity to talk here on my favorite topic. And good morning to all of you, those who are here on a precious weekend. I'm sure you all are, after a week's hard work, everybody wants to have a relaxed weekend. and yet some of you are here. So glad to welcome to all of you. And as I said, this is today's topic is about breaking barriers and ending stigma in the special world with respect to special needs children. This is a topic very dear to my heart. And so, in that context, we are going to look at the importance of early identification, early detection, and uh, early acceptance of whatever diagnosis that comes our way, and how that helps to achieve good outcomes later on in life. So that's going to be our focus today. I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation, but I'm not very fond of fan of PowerPoint presentations. I rather have interactive sessions, and I like to uh, as express myself more in terms of stories. And that's the reason in the introduction you heard, I have also published 2 books. So I'm today also, I'm going to tell you a little bit of, start with a story of a small boy. But before that, I will just share the screen, and so that whenever required, we can come to the yeah. So this is where uh, uh, this is what we want to look at: early detection and early acceptance, which is the toughest part of the journey in any family who has witnessed uh, a special individual in their close vicinity or within the family. So here's this story of a small boy who is a very cute little 5-year-old. You can start at the age of 5, when he was very good looking, very cute, very intelligent, and who was a voracious reader even at the age of 5, who used to ask a lot of questions. And like any other child in Indian, families, uh, he was fed on a lot of our mythological stories and history and the rich culture we have. And he was smart enough to, at the age of 5, he asked his grandmother if he had heard stories of Gandhiji, he had heard stories of Ramayana and Mahabharata. He said, if non-violence is so good, why didn't Ram use non-violence against Ravan? I mean, I think for a 5-year-old, it's quite a pertinent question. And so that's how smart he was. And everybody thought he was very mischievous. He would not be still when in a classroom as he started going to school. So everybody thought academically he's very fine, he's so intelligent, we don't have to worry, he's just restless. But that went on, that so nobody realized that there was anything wrong for a long time. Here we are looking at, the early identification part. So anyway, this boy, also one of the reasons was he was for a time period of a few years, he was looked after mainly by his grandmother, and parents had to be away for some time. That was one of the reasons everybody thought, he's being pampered a lot by his grandmother, and that's why he's so mischievous. He doesn't sit still in the classroom and all. So finally, the parents moved him when he was in second grade from a smaller, from a big school, which was one of the best schools in the city where he was, to a smaller outfit, which was run by a lady called Gurveen Kaur. She is a famous educationist, and she was running this school based on her research experiments, postdoctoral research, which she had done. And he adjusted well there. They were not a special school, but she was able to manage him very well. And until he was around 11, 12, he went to that school. And when he was in 8th standard, right to education had been passed around that time. And that required that the schools have big infrastructure, playgrounds and all. And this school, unfortunately, was the focus was not on making the school big, but imparting quality education. They didn't have the facilities which the right to education uh, wanted. And so school had to be, they decided to close down the school, and this boy had to be pulled out of that small school where he had adjusted well. And then his parents put him in another bigger school, which had a very good reputation of being an alternative school. But the founder of that school, who had started it on alternative basis, had was no more. I mean, that school had changed culturally or ideologically the way it was, and this boy could not adjust in that school for more than 2 weeks. After that, the the real suffering and misery of this child started. His parents tried everything. They tried sending him to other learning centers. They tried sending him to homeschooling, NIOS, all kinds of things, but nothing really worked. And this was in the city of Hyderabad. Uh, this was around 2012, 2013. And this was a very, very traumatic period for this boy as well as his parents, because the child felt he was suspended from the school, and he took that to his heart so badly that he carried it until late 3, 4 years, even after he left the school. So, in short, when this traumatic journey started, that is when they seeing this, the child's uncle, who was a psychiatrist in the US, was visiting Hyderabad, and he saw everything. And he said, "You guys have to now go back to the US, and uh, he needs better care. He's not receiving what he needs here." And the parents decided to pack their bags, left everything here. They could afford to go back to the US because they had already lived there for some time. And they took him there. There he was admitted in a public school. Uh, he went through various assessments. And not that in India they did not try when he was uh, sent out of that bigger school. They had started approaching knocking on various institutions, agencies for proper assessment, but there were no satisfactory, support they had received at that in that phase. But after going to the US, they went through proper. They adapted a three-pronged approach to his care, where there was proper medical assessments of what was wrong, why he was not able to adjust in a bigger school setting, what is it that he's going through. So that was one aspect. Then there was this education system, which was the second, uh, uh, you know, pillar, and like a tripod. And the third was the family care and other extracurricular activities, other therapies, etc. So all this three-pronged approach really helped this boy so much that he passed out from high school in the US public school, which is high school is 12th grade with honors, and now uh, he's in college and he's exploring possibilities of how he can what should be his career ahead. He is looking at equine industry, equine world as a possibility for his career ahead. So what was this boy's diagnosis? He had as he was diagnosed with uh, he was on the autism spectrum, Asperger's, high functioning autism, which made high functioning autism. I don't know how many of you all are familiar, uh, but high functioning autism has, autism is a big spectrum. People on the lower spectrum are usually not very verbal. Some of them are not at all verbal. Some of them can speak little bit. But high functioning autism are verbal. They say each child with autism is different. So, I mean, you cannot say that my child is autistic, but he speaks, or he speaks so much, he understands. So there are differences, but there are some commonalities which you all might be knowing. I don't want to go into the details of what is autism, uh, but yes, this boy was suffering from Asperger's and few other comorbidities like anxiety issues and all, which had, because he had not received this proper care and there was no proper diagnosis right in the beginning, uh, he had gone through whatever this journey he had, traumatic journey he went through. And so all the care was taken to take care of this. I mean, he was treated for whatever that identification was. And today I'm proud to say that I am the mother of this boy who was diagnosed with autism. And seeing what we went through uh, in this, like whatever, in spite of being so well aware, well educated, with enough resources to do whatever we could if we wanted to. In spite of that, what we went through, I didn't want everybody to go through, that sort of a journey. And that's why I decided to start this NGO called Margika, on whose behalf I'm here talking today. And why I wanted to tell this story is because my story reflects my son's story, and it's my story, which it reflects exactly all these steps we all parents go through when we have a special needs individual in our family. How so? I mean, we'll just go through the, uh, yeah, I mean, the first slide which I had shown you, I spoke about early detection and early acceptance. These are the most crucial steps in our lives. Why? Because, I mean, early detection does not happen due to several factors. Early detection, as in our case, I mean, special needs is a huge umbrella. Special needs challenges is a huge umbrella. When we at Margika uh, say special needs children, we are focusing mainly on the we have adapted WHO's, that is World Health Organizations, definition of mental health, which includes uh, severe mental health disorders, common mental health disorders, then developmental disorders, and learning disabilities, epilepsy, substance abuse. It's a wide spectrum because our focus is on children. And in India, detection, a lot of the children go unidentified for a long time. In our case, because the child was so high functioning, we didn't suspect anything. But even when the child is very high functioning, there is so much stigma in case of in our society that even if parents know about it, they want to hide it. They because there is very low level of acceptance. And so this is about early detection. Once you have early detection, the first thing a parent goes through, which I have gone through, is denial. No, how can my child, so intelligent, so bright, how can he have any issues? It's impossible. What did I do wrong? Where did I do wrong? Didn't I take good care when I was pregnant? Was there, what could be the cause? So first reaction is denial, and then anger, and then grief, because depending on the severity of the issue, your world collapses. As young parents, we all have our dreams. We all have our dreams about our child. You look at, my child will do this, my child, and all those dreams just come crashing. And why me is what we start asking. And that is where, we need good support, good understanding of what we are going through. And once the early acceptance, or how long you take to accept this, determines your future journey and your quality of the outcomes ahead. How you manage that child's or individual's journey ahead depends on, and how much progress, how fast he shows the progress, depends on how early you detect the issue or the challenge. Secondly, how early you accept it and how early you start working on it and seek support. So these are the crucial things, and we were, by God's grace, although there was a delay, later on we were so lucky to have tapped the right kind of resources and bring it to the, use it appropriately. And that's why today my dream is to have my child as a role model for all other special needs children. And a lot of people used to ask me, why do you talk about yourself? How will your child feel? Why should you tell that he's got this problem? I'm not ashamed. Why should I be ashamed to say that my child has some challenges? Everybody has some challenges. It's whether the society has decided what is normal and what is not normal. A lot of and we have so many unidentified individuals, even amongst so-called normal people, who go through who have these challenges, and everybody suffers because of them, and they themselves also suffer. So unless we say, let me see, look at the time. You can, Radhika, you can tell me when I need to, how much, because this topic is so dear to my heart. I can go on and on, but it will be nice to have lot of interaction. So I'll just take 5 minutes more. And
Yeah, you can take 5 to 10 minutes more,
yeah.
ma'am, until 11:35.
Yeah. So my point is, it is very important for us family members to start educating ourselves, to uh, and understand and learn to look at life in a broader perspective. Don't get caught up in this rat race where each child has to score in their 10th class, 12th class boards. They have to score, these many marks. They have to do IIT or engineering, do medicine, and then, get a corporate job or earn so much money and then buy a big house and blah, blah, blah. Everybody doesn't have to do that. Life is not about only this kind of success. And I'm not here trying to preach. I am walking the talk. This is how I'm living. And this is how now my dreams have changed. Once your dreams change, once you learn to look at life differently, things just start falling in place. You become happy. Everybody, your child is happy, and everybody becomes happy. So it's all about your mental makeup and how you perceive things. And we need to, and as I'm assuming people who are here today are, I somehow they are related to something to do with special needs people. Either you may be the parents, you may be the family members, or you may be empathizing with this cause. So all of us have to create a society which is not focused only on material success, but and learn to celebrate joys. And our values today have changed so much. Our values need to change. We have to get back to some of our traditional values, where we can really take something good from those values. It's not all about how much money we have, what bank balance we have. So, and fortunately, and or unfortunately, in the modern world, gradually we are all, whether you like it or not, we are all moving towards in that direction with inventions and modern technological advances, especially artificial intelligence and all. No more your degrees are going to be important. That formal education is not going to be so important as it was in the past. It's the skills, it's the unique talents each one of us has. That is going to be important. And that is there in plenty amongst the special children as well. So I would like to end this talk by saying that focus on the strengths of your special child or the special individual in your family. Don't focus on the negativities, and celebrate and encourage and strengthen their strengths. That will bring you joy. Having said that, I will stop here and I will let, uh, I'd like to answer, chat with you all on whatever topic you ask me to talk on.
That was a lovely session, ma'am. So before we move on to Q&A, I would like to request the audience to take a 30 seconds to answer a poll. And by the time you take the poll, I would like to express my gratitude to everybody who has joined in today's session and to our speaker for taking her time to grace the event and to participants for making it an interactive session. Yeah, the poll will be on your screen. You can answer this. Yeah, we would like to talk about our upcoming talks. I request the team to share upcoming talks. Yeah. We have a talk by Meena Ravindran, who is from Department of Atomic Energy, and the talk is on plasma technology for sustainability, which is like gasification process which converts waste into energy. So this is on 17th August, 11 a.m. And the next talk is on 24th of August, 11 a.m. And it is on origin and development of Indian classical dance by Dr. Sumitra Veluri, who is a professor and has done PhD in Kuchipudi dance. This is on 24th August. Please do register and join the session, whoever is interested. And also to this, we have an offline talk on making Hyderabad a zero-waste city by 2027. This is targeted to all the gated communities, apartments, and colonies in Hyderabad to move towards a sustainable future. So, this is happening in Mercure Hotel, Banjara Hills, on 14th of August from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Whoever is interested can fill the questionnaire form in the chat box, and our team will get in touch with you. Yeah, we can start with the question and answers, Mom. Yeah, there is a question from Lambodara Sahu. How to address the addiction issue in adolescent age?
Yes. Today, this is being I mean, substance abuse has become a huge issue, and uh, substance. I mean, it has. I didn't go through the PowerPoint, but many of uh, the causes of these can be traced uh, from your various factors. Some can be environmental, some can be genetic, some can be, like even substance abuse can be, people can be prone to substance abuse due to genetic reasons also. But today, even the environmental, the societal, cultural milieu has become such that it's a problem world over. But for everything, I mean, rather than start treating any, I mean, here, like for proper diagnosis and advice, I would say you will have to visit an expert. But as a precautionary measure, how, I mean, since which is relevant to today's topic, is early detection. That's why is screening. We are advocating through Margika early screening of school children for mental well-being and learning disabilities right from the beginning. There are we ourselves are using one app which has been developed by our Australian collaborators, and we are doing it here in Hyderabad. So, just to give an example, because I think some people are from Maharashtra also here, Dr. Harish Shetty, who is a child rights activist, lives in Bombay. In 2016, he had made appeal to the High Court in Bombay, saying all children should be screened at an early stage for any of mental well-being issues, the way you have physical well-being tests in medical exam in schools, there should be mental health exam also, where even learning disabilities can be screened. They can be screened for learning disabilities as well as mental well-being. And if there are any red flags, anxiety issues, peer pressure, those things can get reflected in that. And that can help prevent children from getting pressurized for or getting drawn towards substance abuse. That's the uh, uh, cautious preventive approach for that. Once the issue is already there, then you have to go to experts. There are a lot of rehab centers, and but go to a psychiatrist, start with counseling, go to a person, take the child to whoever he is likely to listen to, he or she, and go to a counselor, start from there and start a proper treatment. Don't hide it. You cannot solve it at just by being, at your level if it is an issue already.
Okay. There's a question from Subramanya Prasad Surpaneni. Difference between slow learners and dyslexia. Is it necessary to distinguish? And if important, how to distinguish? This is the first question. And another question, do you think personalized adaptive learning programs can be devised for slow learners so that they reach a certain satisfactory level in par with others at primary school level?
Yes, slow learning can be due to several factors. There is a difference between learning disability and slow learning. Slow learning could be uh, when you talk about special needs children and the mental health spectrum, developmental disorders and learning disabilities. There are a lot of comorbidities, and sometimes slow learning could be due to some physical disability also, or it could be due to anxiety, due to some minor mental health disorders, or could be due to some this uh, some physical medical condition. So it has to be, you can screen such a child right at the beginning for learning disability as well as, that's why early detection is more very important, and then give appropriate treatment. And yeah, I mean, as you said, adaptive learning and all that can be introduced as a stage after the assessment.
So, are there any ways to distinguish it at home? Like, are there any signs that a child has learning disabilities?
Yes, there are several tools available today for screening for learning disabilities. We have ourselves have done 3,000 children we started with in Telangana region. We screened them, and there are various tools. Many tools are available even on which can be operated by parents or by teachers. And screening is not diagnosis. Screening is only initial screening. And there are flags like red flag. I mean, when you say red flag, means there is some concern. So if the score through that screening is below a certain level, it's below 14, then you don't have to worry. But if it is above 14, then you have to take experts' help. So screening is the initial stage. And DALI tool is a good tool which has been developed by our neuroscience research center in Chandigarh, Government of India. So that is available, DALI. It's available on screen. You can just browse through that, first look at that. If you feel some concern, then you take the child to another.
Can you repeat it, ma'am?
Sorry,
Can
DALI,
you repeat?
DALI.
DALI?
Yeah.
It's an online website for
Yeah.
screening. Okay.
But there are various tools available. If you go to our website, we have in the resources section, Margika, www.margika.org. In the resources section, you will find several screening tools we have given. But I mean, don't consider yourself a doctor or a teacher or don't consider yourself a doctor, even if you are a teacher or a parent, well-meaning parent or a well-meaning teacher, and don't label the child unnecessarily. I mean, idea here is not to label them, but to have like see if there is something. Are we just imagining, and in what way to proceed?
Sure. And we have Shmuel who has raised his hand. So you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Can you talk little louder? I'm not able.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe my
Yeah,
volume is low on the computer. One sec.
you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Shmuel.
Yeah. Okay, I want to ask you a question. Firstly, very interesting presentation. And I want to ask a question about social aspects of learning and developmental challenges. In other words, I want to ask you what impacts of poverty and social and economic problems on development, learning, and developmental challenges by children.
If I understood your question correctly, you want to know about the socio-economic impact
On
of
children.
on whom and of what?
On learning and developmental challenges.
On learning and development challenges of children. Socio-economic
Okay,
impact on
okay.
children.
Yeah. So I will speak about both the aspects. One is if children from lower economic background and poorer economic background and social socially underprivileged background, these children are and their parents are extremely as it is. I mean, we work with government school children in India, where who goes to government schools today? The poorest strata of the society. Even a permanent a driver who has a permanent job sends his children to private school. So only those who are homeless or migrant laborers and all such people's children go to government schools. If they have a special child, it is, I mean, that child does not get to live life of a human life. They are, and it's not the fault of the parent. It's not because the parents don't have the means. They don't have. So only what they can get in the government school, and if the government school is functioning properly, they get some help. So for and we went through recently one classic case we saw. There is one child we identified through our screening who has this special needs. He has intellectual disability, and uh, uh, his the parents are like from lower middle class background. They send their two uh, atypical children to private school, and the child who has special needs, this intellectual disability, they send him to this government school because they do not have the resources to look after. They have to use the best resources for best this thing possible. So this is one aspect of if they are from poorer social economic background. Now, what is the impact of this? Naturally, I mean, if you have one or two children in family who are afflicted with this is some one of the special needs challenges, then I mean, we all know that in the kind of society we are, where we just hide everything, these children don't generally end up not studying well, because if or not doing anything, because they are just always kept hidden in the background. They don't get proper support, and then they become like pieces of furniture. They end up, some of them end up dying young or in institutions. And it's the social economic impact is obvious. It is not helpful for anybody. It's not good for the child himself or herself. It's not good for the family, and it's not good for the society. It's a negative socio-economic impact for everybody. So we are all at a negative. We all face the brunt of it finally, because we are all connected. So there is a huge connection today between lower, special special needs challenges or disabilities, and socio-economic impact. I hope I answered what you want. I mean, you're asking for.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shmer. We have a question from Syed. What is vulnerable age to be more vigilant to avoid such SLD issues?
To avoid what issues?
SLD issues.
What is vulnerable? Right from the beginning. In fact, you can, it's the DALI tool we've been using, that has been available from age 5. But today, let me tell you, it's not just SLD. A lot of times there are comorbidities. And some of these, what should I say? Special learning disabilities may seem like special learning disabilities, but they could be due to other developmental disorders also. So those can be traced right from today. Autism can be even in the child's developmental milestones. You can trace at the when the baby is right in the second week of, in US and all, second week of after the birth, the child can be tested for if uh, there are any pronounced developmental disorders. But learning disabilities, I think safer age would be 4 to 5. I mean, today, within given resources within India today.
And we have a question from Sibraj Behera. Ma'am, as per your experiences, how do you think we can deal with the behavioral issues such as children showcase, like they become stubborn and all?
Now, I mean, this is a very behavioral issue is not necessarily developmental disorder. It can be related to psychological challenge, right? I mean, we have, some of us have behavioral issues, and we know how we deal with them. So this is a very generic kind of a question you asked, and so I can also give a very generic kind of an answer to this. And so if there are specific, and I mean, also, what is the age of the child? What is it will all, or that individual, it will all depend on that. And what are these behavioral issues? seeing that only an expert can advise that how you need to, because if it is in a child, some of the common behavioral issues, then you have to, there's applied behavior therapy. There are so many different therapies, but every time you don't have to immediately go to a therapist. If you, even with proper understanding, a lot of times behavioral issues occur, especially in a child, uh, because of parental issues, what, or any one particular parent, or the parental conflict, or any influential members of the family, or in school. So there are so many factors which could be affecting the due to which the behavioral issue might be arising. And how, as a parent, as a family member, you address the child, it will depend on that, because children model or emulate their elders around. So it's a very generic question. I mean, you can do it in so many different ways.
And there's a question from Usha. Yes, Usha Ramakrishnan. I'm a participant with a background in special education. Could I add to the answer? Difference between slow learner and dyslexia.
Yes, as I said, dyslexia slow learning can be due to intellectual disability also, as I said, or some due to some physical disability like hearing, or eye problem, eyesight, even taking signals. Even children with autism can have can be slow learners uh, because of certain disorders they are facing due to some other. I mean, sometimes children with autism are very intelligent. They're very high. Their IQ can be good, but they do not, for instance, get what should I say, a macro level picture very quickly, or they don't get nuances. They can't read between the lines. So there are certain limitations, and those things can be up, and they are not good with changes. Sometimes attention deficit disorder can stop a child from absorbing what is being taught, and that can lead to slow learning. Whereas dyslexia is, if treated, help properly, the learning can be on track. That child is not a slow learner.
Yeah. And we have a question from Mr. Ram. How do you think schools should address developmental challenges in students?
That's a huge issue, and we all, I mean, if you are parents or teachers who have these kind of children in their school, or you understand and empathize with the cause, we all have to advocate that inclusion has to be promoted in schools. For that, the teachers and the entire administrative staff of the school has to be trained to accommodate and give appropriate support to special needs children in their school, respective school. The parents and family members need to be trained. That is the first step, actually, if it's a child in the family, that the first of all, acceptance by the parents, training to the parents, and parents not being sensitive to the other family members and societal members who are pointing fingers at them. That is very important. In fact, the parents have to be strong advocates and not care for what the society says, but believe what they are doing is right, and support the child completely, and then demand that the same from the school. And the school has to, it is your right to education has given the right to every parent to ask for admission for their special needs child in their in whichever school they want to. Today, it's not happening. The schools are denying admission to these children, saying we don't have the capacity to handle and things like that. But it is wrong. They cannot do it. Each school is supposed to train their entire staff, everybody, and they cannot deny admission.
Are there any government policies which support special children, ma'am?
I said right to education was passed in 2016. If you have your child is assessed, there are several government institutions. In fact, under National Health Mission, every district is supposed to have a medical center where there's supposed to be a psychiatrist. There is supposed to be, for instance, in case of Telangana, uh, district level, there is a medical center. And then at mandal level, which is like taluk, district is divided into different mandals or taluks. So at that level, there is a Bhavita center in Telangana where there are two special educationists and psychologists and all, or doctors are supposed to visit weekly. The two special educationists in Bhavita centers are supposed to visit the government schools in their nearby vicinity and provide support to the special children. And also the parents whose children cannot go to who are in who cannot go to school can bring their children to Bhavita centers where the special educationist is supposed to help them. Even Anganwadi level, they are doing tests and they can also help. So this is for the very poor in rural and urban areas. But even for people from middle class, upper middle class, there are these facilities, government facilities are available as well as private hospitals are there. First step is to get identified. If you get a certification, then government provides you special, there is disability allowance, social security benefits, which the child gets, even in India. And then there are various other benefits you get. And even in school, you can demand accommodation based on that. There is what's called IEP, special individualized education plan, which the school is supposed to provide for child with special needs. That's a big elaborate process and every school is supposed to give that. These are the provisions made by the government through these right to education act, persons of disability act, RPD.
So I think, but I think there is very less awareness on this.
Sorry.
But I'm feeling that there is very less awareness on the support that is being provided by the government to the parents or the families that have special needs children.
That's why people like us are working on it.
Yeah.
I mean, my main thing is to spread awareness. And unfortunately, this is such a cause. Environment, everybody feels about it because you feel, not everybody feels, but everybody can relate to it. Whereas special needs individuals, unless they are your own kith and kin, people try to avoid it. It's something not very pleasant. People feel either very sad or, they feel, oh, I cannot bear this. I can't see this suffering. And they tend to run away from it. But that's not how you can solve such problems. You have to face them head on. Those are very much real and they can happen to anybody. rich, poor, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, to anybody. So we have to create awareness about it. And one of the things, that reminds me, and to create awareness and to tell people that you don't have to run away from these problems. There is a lot of beauty, there is a lot of strength in this world too. And to do that, we organized talent shows and all also by special needs children. And one of the talent shows, we were inspired to, uh, can you see this? Publish this book, which is by special needs children. Can I just show this little bit, open it and show you all
Yes.
some of the beautiful, 1 minute. Or yeah, in my, can you please share the screen? Can you remove this polling thing? Because of that,
Yes.
I'm not able to see what well, I like to share my PPT. I
You're
want
doing
to
it.
show a child with intellectual disability has done such a beautiful drawing, or this book speaks for that. This child has several disabilities. Uh, like, there are some developmental disorders he has, but he has done this work. I'll show you some good, beautiful pictures.
Ma'am, can you share this if you have any slides on this?
Uh, I can't show the entire this thing. This book is full of beautiful art, essays, poetry by special needs children. Seeing that, you can see that they have so much strength. They can they can do so many things. We can bring them, if we give them proper support, we can bring them into uh, you know uh, the productive force and live in a happier world than what we are living. I would like to show you this 1 minute. Mm, yeah. So, no, but for me, I'm seeing only this whole thing. Okay. See, this is the book we published. This is the book cover. Mindscapes, a canvas of emotions in a special world. And it's a marvelous book with, it's available on Amazon also. And it has, 1 minute. We've got forward by Dalai Lama to this book. Amir Khan, Shashi Tharoor, they have endorsed this book. And these are some of the just few examples. But as I said, there are more complex and real good quality, like some big artist pictures also, which I showed you. But here is now I'm going to show you a picture by a child with intellectual disability. And in spite, I myself was quite surprised to see that a child who you can see is visibly intellectually disabled has so much beauty in his head, and he has expressed it so beautifully too. I'll show it to you. See the mermaid he has drawn, and
Wow.
here is this child. So, they are capable of a lot. And if you want to see some like very, like a big artist, such this thing are also there. I'll show you one. There is one here. I mean, there are many, but this is my favorite to show you all. This is Sam Burgess. Oops.
Ma'am, you can round so that we can see the book clearly.
Okay. I'll say stop sharing. This is the boy, Sam Burgess. And this is his computer art. 1 minute. I don't think I'm showing it to the.
You can disable your virtual background so that the entire screen is visible.
Here is another. It's really beautiful. I mean, but anyway, so these are the examples of how much beauty is there in this world and how we can create awareness about it, that they are capable. We have to change our perspective. We have to start looking at things differently.
So true, ma'am. And so beautiful paintings they've done. Yeah. We have a question from Priyam P. Sahu. How should we deal with aggressive children?
Yeah. See, I mean, we tend to have this firefighting approach. The question itself is with that approach. How do children get aggressive? Why children get aggressive with certain people and not with certain people? We always have this, oh, he's good to me, I can handle him well, but for most people he's not handled well. That means there is something going on here, right? So again, how to deal with aggressive behavior? It's very easy to ask questions like that because it's a very generic question. But as I said, we have to always, I myself was very impatient earlier. Now, because I have gone through all this, have experienced all this and gone through several training programs and workshops, now I know a lot of the things begin with us. The aggression begins with the teacher or the parent or whoever the child is beginning. I mean, it sounds like Gandhiji. I'm talking like Gandhi. Oh, you be good, then, preaching. But really, that is the crux of the thing. It all begins with sometimes the child may be disturbed and that's why he may be behaving unreasonably. But if you are not willing to see that, then he'll become, and you also become irritable, he'll become more aggressive. And that goes on and on and on. So we have to always, this is what I have learned. I don't want to say that, and it's not like I have all the answers, but any parental workshop you go to, they will tell you the similar things. That look into the reason why that aggression is happening. Always look at patterns. When is this child, when does he behave aggressively? What is the background at that time? When does his aggression get triggered? So you have to make these observations. So there are no, you do this, I will do this, those kind of answers. The answers come to seek answers. First, you have to understand the background. You have to observe things about that particular child. The pattern of his behavior? Is it in the morning? Is it in the night? Is it in the afternoon? Is it because he's hungry? Is he because uh, has he had too much? It can be nutrition. It can be he's not well, or so many different things.
Right. We have a question from Durga G. Warrior. How to differentiate a lazy learner and learning disabled in an inclusive setting classroom?
Yeah. I think it's a common sense answer, right? Uh, I what have you tried? I'll. This is only I'm talking. So, who's this person?
Durga G. Warrior.
Will she like to say something?
Ma'am, would you like to talk?
Because when we are labeling somebody as lazy, it's a quite. What do you think is the? I mean,
Hello,
is it
ma'am.
from a teacher?
Hello,
Is it?
ma'am.
Yeah,
I
she
mean, it's
speaks.
very easy for a teacher to say, "Oh, this one is
Ma'am,
lazy. This one is that. Don't want to do
ma'am,
this."
is it
Yes.
audible?
Sorry.
Yeah, you're audible, Durga.
Ma'am, actually, I'm a teacher trainee in special education.
Mhm.
So, from next week, we have to start practicals in an inclusive setting, and we have to take sessions in inclusive education, focusing on specially abled children. So when we went to collect data from teachers, they just mentioned us some students are learning, means they are lazy to learn. They have the ability to learn. So we are just confused how we can deal with them. So that's why I asked. We
Yes.
haven't met them.
No, I mean, even I say sometimes, oh, why you being lazy? I tell my son, why you being lazy? Nothing like lazy. People have said to us also, right? Why you being lazy? Why don't we think, when are we lazy? When do we act lazy? Let's start from ask ourselves. I think this doesn't have any, I mean, special needs child will definitely have is definitely, I mean, in your terminology, is never, will never look lazy. I mean, not wanting to do some, you can easily distinguish somebody who is not wanting to do something. Laziness is something you don't want to do it, even if you can do it. It's a choice you have. Laziness is a choice. We are attributing a choice to that person, that you have made a choice of being lazy and not wanting to do something. That want is there or not there. Whereas special needs is a child is not able to do something even if he wants to do it. That is the main distinguishing factor. You can see it in that no child, I mean, if he wants to do it and he's not able to do it, it's isn't it very obvious? And when you have a whole group of children not wanting to do it, that means there is something going on. It's not about, it's even with among special needs children, if the whole group is not wanting to do something, that means something is not being communicated to them properly. A. Or B, it's just something they don't know how to deal with. And that's why they're reluctant to do it. It's not laziness then.
Hope that answered your question, Miss Durga.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't agree, you can beg to differ and you can say what if you feel like, if you don't agree with me.
No, ma'am. I was just confused that if those teachers told me there are some lazy students, and I'm not sure if they are just lazy or they have learning disability, because we have not met that students, and those teachers don't have training on this too. So I am just confused. So
No,
when we start to teach, and I was thinking how we can classifying that?
They may not be motivated to learn.
Huh.
Doesn't mean they're lazy. The why the motivation is not there, you have to look into that. Lazy is a very dangerous term. It has deep psychology. Why somebody is not motivated or not willing to do something, there are deeper reasons for it. Laziness is our colloquial, just labeling, array, this one is very chirpy, this one is very lazy, this one is very hardworking. It's very easy to label that way. And a teacher, especially, I hope, will never say somebody is lazy. It's the onus is on the teacher here to make things interesting and make the child motivated. Or you have to talk to the parent, find out why they are not motivated. There could be so many different reasons why they are behaving like that.
We have another question from Ms. Divya. How does a psychological development of a child affect when there is a single parent?
Oh, it's not like it doesn't have to be completely negative always. If you have two parents and they're always fighting or having some negative impact on the child, it's not good either. It's not necessary that two parents will necessarily always do good. Even a single parent, if uh, very strong, grounded, balanced mind, can bring a very good child, bring up a good child also. It's ideal to have two good parents because there are so many things. These are, I don't think such answers require any lot of scientific, understanding. We all know how. It's not about one or two or three, I would say. Generally, conventionally, it is said uh, it's good to have the entire family, two parents, because there are in every family, there are certain functions which a mother fulfills. There are certain functions which a father fulfills. And depending on the gender of the child, within given our culture, culturally there are certain expectations from certain parent uh, to associate and influence that child in a particular way. And that's why we have these kind of issues. But it's not as if a single parent cannot. Here, the feminist in me becomes more, prominent when I answer this question. So it's more about how whoever the parent is, that single parent, uh, how they conduct themselves, how easy or tough it is for them to bring up that child. Is it a burden? Are they well equipped? Are they well supported? If you have support of your rest of the family and you have enough resources and you are able to create quality time for your child, you are there. I don't think it should matter. It is, but ideally, if you have two parents, you can divide the duties, you can give enough time. Then it is better to have. So I'm giving you the reason behind why they say it is difficult to, or it can affect the child negatively if it is a single parent. Do you understand why I'm giving you this long-winded answer? I hope you understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a question from Mitra De. Regarding differentiating between two types, is there some medical ways to diagnose it? Some children are naughty and don't do their work, but they don't come in category of special needs students.
No, there's no such medical this thing. And why should you want to test them? It's good to be naughty, yeah. I mean, why should everybody be quiet? And some people are just naturally curious, and they can see they're smarter than you, and that's why they can take pot shots at you, and they can be naughty with you. They know how much even animals, dogs can be very, animals sense how smart or dull you are, how balanced you are. Is your head on your shoulders? And, are you calm, at peace with yourself? Depending on that, they will take you for a ride, or they will, I don't think naughtiness should bother you to the extent that you want to check them medically. It's again, I mean, there are some other reasons why the child is consistently uh, being doing some things which are, if you're referring to naughtiness in a to doing things being self-destructive and things like that. I mean, it will depend on how you define naughtiness, being mischievous or being destructive. And if it is destructive, it has to be taken seriously. But it is more of a psychological issue than a medical issue. And everything doesn't have to be developmental disorder or special needs. There are different categories. And within special needs also, some are just borderline cases. The differences of degrees.
Right. Yeah, I think we have done with the question and answers, ma'am.
Yeah, I think it's 12:20. So
Yeah, we are good to close the session. And I request you to join in a breakout room that will pop up on your screen. And I thank all the audience who have joined us in today's session and for all your questions and making the session an interactive session. And lastly, I would like to request all the audience to take a few seconds to subscribe to our Vishwa Talks channel on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, so that be posted on all upcoming events. Yeah. Yeah. See you all in next Vishwa Talks.